So we're going to cover year in review, and then I'm going to tell you about what we're going to do in the coming year. So these are kind of some of the highlights of the year in review. So user experience, if you're a user of RunSignUp, you have seen drastic changes over the past year. The race website's changed, the dashboard has changed, a lot of the individual features have changed. We've introduced new features that look cool and colorful and are easier to use and stuff like that. We have a strategy overall in our development process called continuous improvement. So we put out these very small changes, very incrementally. Last year we had, over the past 12 months, we've had 1,600 releases of our software. You guys don't even know it, but in between clicks, your software is getting updated. And that technology is really, really cool stuff. Race websites. I implore all of you, please update your race websites. Like, we have a new template out. All it takes is like 2 clicks, and you've got a much newer, nicer looking. We didn't want to force everybody over to the new look, but it is so worthwhile. It just is, it's a lot nicer. So here's my prediction on race websites, is that increasingly you guys are going to use the RunSignUp race website as your race website. And the reason is that the RunSignUp race website is data-driven. So all that rich data that comes out of the CRM is available immediately, right? As soon as you've uploaded a photo, the photo is on your race website. Your race website is getting traction there. Your sponsors, as soon as you change or add or delete a sponsor, that happens on your race website. You don't have to do anything. And all of your emails automatically include that race sponsor and things like that, right? So this idea of data-driven websites is going to overtake content. I know a lot of people hired like a marketing firm and had a fancy website design, custom design for them. What I'm telling you is that custom design, the value of that decreases over time, and it's actually the functionality that matters. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is that Darren and company are working to make that user experience even better on the race websites. So my prediction is that a year and a half from now, pretty much everybody is going to be using RunSignUp race websites instead of their own proprietary websites. Race dashboard, we've made a ton of improvements in there in terms of ease of use, style, compactness, and race insights has been brought front and center. Race Insights is a beautiful piece of technology. We have basically built our own Google Analytics and customized it for races. Races are really interesting, right, from a business perspective, because they're really pretty small business entities, and the transactions that you do are actually really small. And so how do you make technology that fits that type of environment, right? And you take Google Analytics, it is so difficult to use that 99% of the people in this room would have difficulty in fully utilizing it. And even if you were really smart, you wouldn't be able to customize and really understand what's happening with that technology or what's really happening, because it doesn't do things like separate out the registration fee and the donation fee and stuff like that and give you the types of metrics that you're doing there. We've made a ton of improvements on email marketing, and it's just been fantastic, the stuff that Andrew and the rest of the team have done over the course of the year. CRM is this new term that we're using. Really, RunSignUp is a CRM. It always has been, and that's been kind of the philosophy of the company, is to kind of make all this information that you're collecting available to utilize through a bunch of tools. This year, we've introduced a new profile page, CRM management, cross-race views. So when you're searching on somebody, you actually see an individual, and you're seeing that, oh, this individual ran 68 races. So if they're calling in for a refund or a deferral, you can be nice to this guy, please. Or if you don't know them or anything like that, maybe you're a little bit harder with them. And you can keep notes on that. So I can put in a note, say, oh, we gotta, I gave this guy a deferral because he's a good guy, and that way when Aaron looks him up, tomorrow, she'll see that note that I put in and understand what happened. In addition, we've consolidated and made it really easy to do all the different participant management types of functions that you need to do. The other thing that we've just recently introduced is kind of the real meat and potatoes of what you all will want to do with CRM over time. And it's this idea of CRM promotions. And basically, the example that we have here is you create a quick coupon and you pick a set of lists that you want to include and exclude. Like you want to include past participants but exclude current participants, because why send them a discount notice? And then send an email. And all this is done in like 3 or 4 clicks. It's really nice and simple and easy. You can do this today with RunSignUp, right? You can go into the coupon page, you can create a coupon. You can go over to the email system, you can create your own set of lists, you can create your own stuff like that. But this is really the idea that we're going to put more and more power, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Another thing that we just recently introduced is multi-race bundles. These are really, really awesome. Actually, we could have used this. My little Scott Coffee run and Philadelphia Run Fest did a joint medal. So if you ran both of them this year, you got a special medal. And we had to kind of do that in a kludgy type of way. This would offer a really good way to do that. And so that you'd offer a bundled service both in the Scott Coffee Run and in the Philly Run Fest, and they'll be able to sign up, and basically it keeps track of all that money and it puts the real participant in each real race and in each real event and stuff like that. We give you lots of flexibility on the pricing. There has to be trust between the 2 race directors, right? Because I've got to trust 9/11 folks that, if we do a cross promotion here, the money I collect in my race website, if I collect more, then I'm going to pay it to them. It keeps the money in the race that the person signed up in, but we give you all the reports so you can figure out how to transfer the money afterwards. RaceDay Scoring is a strategic product for us. So there's this product, Race Director, that Roger Bradshaw created 28 years ago, back when Matt Avery, the guy holding the camera over there, looked like that. Yes, Matt used to be cute. No, Matt, you're still cute. I love you. So Roger joined our company, and Race Director last year did like 8 million participants. So that's a lot of people. A lot of timers use it and stuff like that. And so we have an obligation to have a next generation of that. But it's also interesting what's happening in the market in general, in that this market has been dominated by 2 products, Race Director and RunScore, that are both cheap, 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 cheap. You cannot afford to build a scoring software product given those prices. And so there's not a way for a software company to get creative and do that. So you have to do it. You have to justify the expense of building that product with something else. Chip companies do that, and so Chronotrack has their scoring system and stuff like that. But the problem with that, let's try to take a picture of the screen. The problem with that is that then the timer gets locked into a single chip system. So we're coming at it from the perspective of developing an open platform. We're trying to solve the Goldilocks problem of have the power that RunScore has ease of use of Race Director, but in a modern platform. It's in beta now, and we'll release it in December. And then we did a whole bunch of other features, and this just covers the surface. I didn't feel like doing all 1,600 here. Another thing that we did this year is we established some new partnerships. The first one we did a couple months ago was Strava. And the interesting thing about the Strava relationship is that it allows a race to extend the meaning of their race to before the race, to the training duration of it, right? So if you use this idea, in a very proactive way in your race, and few races are doing this now, it extends the meaning of your race, and it gives you a way to reach and build a community that is greater than just the race day. It's the whole training experience too. We are announcing today 2 new partners. One is Road ID. So Road ID, probably everybody knows what that is. The great thing about Road ID is it carries a safety message. what we're doing is allowing races to offer road ID and kind of benefit from that safety message, carry a safety message to their participants and things like that. The way it's going to work is, and it's going to be available in another 2 or 3 weeks, you'll flip a switch and RunSignUp to turn Road ID on, and Road ID offer will get added to your add-ons. So when people go through registration and say you're selling a hat or something like that, they'll also have a chance to buy a Road ID. Road ID is giving a very low price to those runners. So I think their list price is somewhere around $35, and your runners will be able to buy it for $25. So you're offering your runners something in return for that. In addition to that, Road ID is offering races some additional incentives, and those will be coming out, and you'll be able to pick your own incentive. You'll have the opportunity to get some Road ID gift cards to hand out to winners and things like that, or maybe some Road ID bibs, or maybe a little bit of revenue share. The other announcement we have is with RaceInsure. So there's a number of different insurance needs that races have. One of them is to cancel in case there's really bad weather or something like that. And so that race cancellation insurance is really hard for an individual race to buy, because it's too much risk for an insurance company to take on an individual race. So basically what RaceInsure is doing with us is they're treating kind of the RunSignUp community as a collective and giving an insurance rate based upon that breadth. So the rate winds up being very, very low. There's other insurance products in the market that cost about 50% more than this offering. And part of the reason that we're able to do that is the size of the RunSignUp community. Also, a strategic decision that we've made is that we're not going to make money on partner types of situations. So we're not going to drive our revenue or our profit by selling other people's stuff or anything like that. We will sometimes take an upfront fee, like Strava paid us some money to do the development for the integration. And so we will do that, but that I think is kind of fair game. But we don't want to put ourselves in between on a business type of basis. So let's talk about the future. So CRM, we kind of have these first 3 check marked off. So CRM, let me take a step back and talk about this diagram. The basis of CRM is your race day experience, your brand, and your message, and how you treat your customers, right? And that has nothing to do with technology or anything. Technology can help enable some of those experiences and things like that, but it really comes down to that as the fundamental foundation. So CRM, while it would be great and nice and everything, is no magic pill. It's not going to double your registrations or anything like that. But it does provide a bunch of nice functionality. What we have introduced in a very early fashion, and remember this is going to be continually rolled out over the next year with lots and lots of features, is CRM lists and CRM promotions. And I'll talk about those on the next slide. The other thing that's going to get hooked is the CRM analytics is going to get hooked into the core engine. The other thing that we want to do is CRM automation tasks. An automation task would be automatically send a birthday greeting to everybody that ran your race last year and include a coupon 3 days before your birthday or something like that. An automation task might be whenever somebody in your race runs a PR, send them a special congratulations email and stuff like that. CRM lists, this is just kind of, don't pay too much attention to the details of this. There's lots and lots of ideas on this. But the basic idea is that you're going to be able to create a list of, say, almost kind of any type of query over time. So an example might be people that signed up with a coupon last year. People that signed up right before this price increase on July 31st last year. I'll be able to sub-segment those people and then target them specifically with different types of promotions. I'll be able to do things like look for loyal customers and run a loyalty type of a program to give them a special entry price or just a special entry time. Allow them to sign up a week before everybody else is allowed to sign up. So there's a bunch of different ideas in here, And the great thing is that all this stuff will get measured with Race Insights. See, there's planning in that Race Insights thing, because you can spend a lot of time on CRM promotions and you don't know what happens to them. That's kind of a wasteful thing. So run some CRM promotions, see what worked, and then rinse and repeat. Promotions. A lot of our effort this year is going to go into automation and CRM-oriented sorts of things. So there's a bunch of things in RunSignUp that are just drop-dead easy to do, and every race should be doing them. Referral rewards is an example of that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be making those much more obvious and almost turn them into opt-out types of things when you renew your race or when you create a race. Lots of cool stuff on that front. Race and fundraising websites. One of the big features we're going to be adding before the end of the year is yourdomain.com. So you'll be able to go to RunSignUp, and instead of having runsignup.com/myrace, you'll be able to either transfer your domain or buy a domain. We will automatically take care of all the SSL stuff for you. We think we have a killer way to do SSL in a very affordable way. It will be an extra charge because of the SSL costs mostly, but it'll probably be under $100 a year. And so it will be extraordinarily affordable for a secure website, which is great. There will be a lot more kind of eye candy. So you'll have more template options, more options in terms of making your website richer and stuff like that. We also want to, a lot of organizations really have a charity behind them. And they want to have donations all year round. That's kind of different than a race website. So we're also going to be coming out next year at some point in time. So you'll be able to create a donation-only kind of website that will work with your race websites. So RaceDay Scoring, the point of this slide is that there is actually a real need for a next generation of RaceDay Scoring in the industry. And we almost have an obligation to do it. Given the team that we have. So Roger Bradshaw has been doing this for 28 years, and he desperately wants a new generation. He has a bunch of arrows, he knows all the mistakes he made the first time, and he wants to have this second chance of like a clean sheet and starting from scratch again. And so it's a tremendous opportunity. Steven Sigwart, our CTO, and really the guy that is the reason why we're all here, is an unbelievable talent in terms of development. So he created the core engine of scoring. I used that engine actually August a year ago when I was the first user of it. I scored a prediction race with it. And having somebody like him to develop something that is truly next generation it's a unique talent that we have and something that we needed to share. Matt Avery has grown up since that picture, and he's got a wealth of talent. He's been a timer. His undergrad degree is in computer science. He has basically worked support and helped a lot of the timers that are in the room today over the past couple years at RunSignUp. And so he has this wealth of experience, and he has these ideas in his head of how this product should work. And because he can do some code, he actually helps on the coding as well. It keeps it really honest in terms of what can be done and things like that. James Harris is the creator of RaceJoy. If you don't know about RaceJoy, if you think tracking 10,000 people on their phones and sharing that with 20,000 other people is an easy job of programming, you are dead wrong. It's more than just that nice little blue dot that's moving around a map. It is difficult technology. When James built RaceJoy, not only did he learn all that, part of his strategy was to hook with timing equipment vendors. And so that provided the basis and the knowledge of how all these timers actually work and what they do, and provided depth in terms of the integrations of all these different chip systems and stuff. He got a chance to kind of rewrite the connector that he had as part of RaceJoy and in RaceDay Scoring. And then Michael Chisholm has been with us for a couple years now, and he's worked on the RaceJoy platform. And this offers an unbelievable, great opportunity for him to expand his talents and learn more and to do more. And then Ben just joined us this summer as an intern. He's been doing a really great job. And tomorrow we'll talk more in depth about RaceDay Scoring. So the summary is, the way I think about this is that we're all in this together. So thank you.